just wanted to go over real quick how this tool works, or these tools. So smsets is the name of the module, Python module. So you want to import that. Most of the time you just throw that into your user startup Py or user startup Mel. If you're doing, for those of you who you don't always need this reload, but if you're doing development, that you'll see that a lot. So don't worry about that. And then the command to actually run it is the .ui will pull up the UI. And then if you want to see all the other options it has, you can just do Control spacebar, and then I'll list all the things you can do. The ones you're going to care about, there's this one called Edit, and well, in any case, you're probably not going to care. You're just going to use the UI or use the right mouse button in the outliner that I provided for Maya 2020. Okay, so basically, let's just go through what they do. So the first one is create sets, which is basically the same as if you go to create sets, quick select set. Just a little bit easier to get a hold of that, especially if you're in the outliner. You just right click, create quick select set, and there you go. You can do the same thing. So I'll grab these guys and just do that. Tubes, tubees, whatever. I'll grab these and we'll make one and call it cones. And we'll grab these, and just for fun, I'll leave two out and call it pipes. Cool. So first thing is the add. So if we go over here and grab pipes and do a select set members, you'll see that I've missed the last two. Select those, grab pipes, say add. Now it's added it to them. Very cool. Similarly, you can do, a remove. So just go like that, say remove, and now it's only those. Now, of course, yes, you can drag and drop, do that. Sometimes it's easier to drag these things in and out. Depends on how complicated your hierarchy is. As you can see, the thing I just did, I didn't want to do, which is accidentally reparenting my objects. I do that. That's why I don't like the drag and drop. That's why I do like the doing it that way. And of course, the other thing too is you can make a set very easily of your vertex. So I have those in there. Can't really drag and drop anything in for that. Also, especially if you wanted to add to that. Often what I'll do is, let's say I had a really complicated model and I'm having trouble getting the exact vertices that I want. I'll create the set, and then I'll look at that and be like, you know what? I don't want any of the outer edges. And if you watched my video before, using Windows and relationship editors and sets, for some reason, it doesn't like that. If they're not in there, it just shuts down and doesn't do. It says, "Oh, these are not in there," which is, that might be true, but so what? Take them out and take them out anyway. So if I select this, you'll see I still have those in there. I'm going to undo it back to here, and I can go to Vertex 2 and say remove, and now it's actually removed those from the set. I don't have to worry about it. So you're thinking that if you got a face, like eyes, like a lot of times what I'll do is select like all the geometry around the eyelids and make a set out of it so I have it. And that way it's easily to get back later. So with that in mind, I do have some other tools I added. So remove obviously makes sense. There's also one I added called split. So let's say I grab these guys and I say select the pipes selection set, say split. I now have a new set, which is just the ones on the right side, and the original one contains the other side. So it's just a way to split a set really quickly. You say, let's say I take like these guys and add them to these sets like this. There we go. I can select the two sets and say find similar, and it'll select the ones that are similar between them. Maybe you want sets that aren't exclusive, or are exclusive, so you're trying to find the matches so you can remove them. That's a good way to do that. Unlike layers, sets aren't exclusive, so you can have objects in multiple sets. It doesn't make a difference. Remove from all is a pretty straightforward one. I'm going to select these two sets and say remove from all. Now these guys are not in any sets at all because they've been removed from pipes and pipe split. And then below that I have delete empty sets, which will get rid of those sets that were empty. I find that very handy because often you end up with tons and tons of sets. The ones you have to be careful of are if you save a file and you have one of these selected sets, if you don't, if you save your file, reopen it, those sets will stick around. Those are the ones you want to get rid of as well. I have to test to see if it gets that. If not, I can add it. And that's kind of all there is to it, I think. The only other thing I added was, and it's not in the UI, I suppose I could add to the UI, is a button to add to shelf. So if I run smsets.add to shelf, what it's going to do is just put buttons up there so I can grab these guys very easily. It's the same thing as if I was to make a set and say create set and say add to shelf, add to shelf. Let's just call it all, add to shelf. That's what that button's doing. So it's the same thing, but it's just a way to just select these guys and quickly make the buttons for you on your current shelf. And then lastly, all those commands are in here, except for the add to shelf, are right in the right-click outliner menu that I added to for Maya 2020. I'll update ones for 19 and 18 if that becomes, if people want that. And then on top of that, I did do the colors. I put that in there as well if you're using that outliner. All right, I hope that's helpful, and thanks.